guys, welcome to your very first AEW review on the General Jerry channel. Ladies and gentlemen, this pay-per-view has been much anticipated. A lot of people are looking forward to it. Some people were like, oh, it's going to be smarky, it's going to be this, it's going to be that. I'm just going to say it outright now. This was an excellent show. This show actually went beyond my expectations. I've seen like people were bashing it as well, maybe for the sake of bashing it, but overall I thought that this show was very well done. There was some small problems that I have with it, but overall this show was amazing. And yeah, I thought it was definitely way above average. This show was, in fact, in my belief, better than any other show that I've seen on WWE so far this year and even last year. The consistency of the card was pretty much well done. There was like some part of it where I was just like, but pretty much overall I thought this show was actually amazing. What we're going to be doing is something a little bit different on this review. I have written down good and bad points, so we'll be getting into that first, and then we're going into the card, because what happened was that during the Young Bucks match, which I'll get to in a minute, I was near sleep. By the way, not because of the show, but because it was like 4 in the morning. And I said to myself, I am not going to review this show while in this state where I'm exhausted, okay? Because that will be unfair in the show. So I went to bed, I got back up the next day, and I started again. I had to wait, and we'll get into some of the bad points with timing and stuff. But then I waited till that point where the Young Bucks was, and then I rewatched it again and watched Kenny Omega, Chris Jericho, and obviously the amazing thing that happened towards the end. So, yes, overall, I just want to make out a disclaimer. I also went into this as unbiased as possible. As you know, I'm not a big fan of the indies. I'm not a big fan of these independents and the flips and stuff. But if you want my overall opinion, I thought the show was actually better than anything WWE's produced today. Now, I'm not gonna be this all, AEW, go fucking win, man! Like, I'm not gonna be that person. But I have to praise something when there's praise. This was an excellent fucking show. So, anyone that's like, because there's been a few people that didn't watch it because they thought it was going to be this indie kind of thing. So before getting into the review, if you are one of those people that thought that it was going to be terrible, please go get it, watch it, and then come back, because it is actually something that you should probably check out if you're a wrestling fan. This show has actually made me now want to watch wrestling again. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I'm actually praising AEW, okay? I'm praising... Now, there was bad points, okay? So don't worry. Jerry hasn't completely lost his mind. There was a few minor things that I had issues with. But ladies and gentlemen, before we get into that, let's get in. Ladies and gentlemen, I got a list of some of the things that I liked about the show. Number 1, Cody Rhodes versus Dustin. This match I wasn't looking forward to originally because it's already been seen. This match, in my opinion, was the best match of the night. I like a lot of hardcore stuff. I like a lot of blood. I like a lot of violence, okay? And this was an actual very good match. In my opinion, the best match on the card. Generally, Dustin did incredibly well in this. He looks in fantastic shape. When the blood was coming out, I got a little bit concerned because there was a lot of it. But overall, I generally thought that this was an amazing match. Definitely one of the best. And yeah, overall, very good match. We'll get into more details once we go through the card. Second one, there was consistently good matches in this card. Unlike, now there was one or two that I didn't particularly care for on this card, but with WWE, and I'm gonna try not to compare them too much with WWE, but with WWE, there's either like 1 or 2 good matches and that's it. In this, the majority of them were actually good. Majority of them were actually very enjoyable. Majority of them I actually did like. And that is what a pay-per-view card should be. A pay-per-view card should be consistent. I don't expect them to get it 100% right, but at least all the matches consistently I can watch from start to finish and not get bored. I tell you, I wasn't bored of this show. So the matches itself is very good. If you do like just the raw wrestling, you're gonna enjoy it. We'll get into the flippy thing in a minute, so don't worry. But third thing is obviously a spoiler. If you haven't, well, you already know it's wrestling. Dean Ambrose is now officially in AEW. He came to the ring, beat up Chris Jericho, beat up Kenny Omega. This was very, very good. This was a step in the right direction because they needed a kind of like an ex-WWE star that shouldn't have got like some jobber, the main events or whatever. Dean Ambrose is used to be a WWE champion, or should I call him John Moxley? So Moxley is, former WWE champion, an actual star, so having him in that spot is very, very good. It looks like he might compete for the World Heavyweight Championship as well. Very good, very good. Okay, there's this guy I need to get the name of, okay? And I'm going to try and get his name here. But there's this guy, I forget his name, but he, and during the presentation, I'll go into more details about him. But, during it's this guy with a scarf, and he's like facing Bret Hart for the title change. Fucking amazing heel. It's actually very rare to see. Usually I don't like heels like this, but this guy was fucking amazing. He actually got a lot of hate. Actually one of the rare talented guys I thought in that Battle Royale. Generally got hate, generally got anger towards him. Was generally very good on the mic skills. I'll get his name in a minute, but he was very, very fucking good. The promo packages were very well done. Usually promo packages and other promotions are usually boring. This was like short, sweet, to the point, let's get into it. Very good promo packages going into this pay-per-view. The stage and production was excellent. There's one thing that I have a problem with, but I'll get into that on the bad side of things. The stage looked excellent. The production, the camera work was excellent. Overall, the staff behind the scenes did a very excellent job. They don't usually get praised for shows like this. They did amazing work. Crowd reactions, for the most part, weren't entirely smarky. This is another issue that I had walking into this, is that am I going to have this is awesome? And there is, but some of the crowd reactions during the match were actually very, very good. They weren't bored. There is times where we'll get into where it does appear quite smarky, but it's not as smarky as what I thought. So if you're not watching this because you think that it's going to be overrun by fans going, like, no, this is not one of those pay-per-views. It was actually pretty decent. The music on All the Stars was actually very, very good as well. Bret Hart showing the title was excellent. The whole promo that they did there was very, very good. The title looks amazing. It looks a lot better than the other WWE titles. And yeah. The main point that I want to say is that this pay-per-view made tag teams look cool again. I've always said this on many occasions. Tag teams within wrestling, it seemed to have been a dying art. The Young Bucks, as much as and I will get into them in a minute, but it looks like they're trying to focus a lot on the tag team division on this roster. And I think it's a very good thing. Tag teams have potential to be good. It can also be a utilization of maybe getting singles competitors and rising them up through tag team divisions. But overall, the tag team that I've seen were actually very well done. A lot better than WWE, where they stick a bunch of guys in and just stick them on. These guys actually put on more of an effort in regards to the tag team matches. So excellent tag teams, excellent, amazing shows that they provided with the tag team matches. So very well done on that. JR storytelling and commentary. Okay, now we're gonna get into the other guy in a minute, and this other guy. Okay, but JR for the most part did an excellent job. There was one thing, however, he got lost. But I think it was because they were trying to tell him on his ear, and they didn't tell him. So JR's like, what is it? Like, tell me what it is. Because JR can't figure out what everything is. But I think the way JR called these matches was excellent. Definitely a lot better than Michael fucking Cole and the rest of those goons. So JR still got it. JR did an excellent job on commentary. The other guy's a bit, but we'll get into him in a minute. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so let's get into, unfortunately, the bad. Now, I want to add this. This is actually very small bad things compared to what I usually say with other shows. So again, it's really just small little things that maybe they can improve on and might provide feedback for them. Number one, the commentary team on the pre-show. The guy, I forget his name, but the guy beside, not the guy with the mask, but the guy beside JR, literally looked like a lost dog. I don't know what was, like, he was just spaced out. He just went, and yeah, and I'm really looking forward to this match. And it's the guy with the goatee. I don't know his name. Christ, get rid of him, please. Fuck me, he's terrible. I don't put Joe Cronin in there. Or me. Like, Christ, I mean, this is like the biggest show ever, and he's like, I'm really looking forward to this match, and it's gonna be good. Like, get rid of him. Sorry, Cody, you're watching this. I doubt it, but if you're watching this, get this guy out of here. He's fucking awful. Keep JR, though. JR's a fucking legend. Okay, so this is, again, it's not a main point, but there's a lot of flips. There's a lot of flipping, and there's a lot of flopping. Now, my criticism with the Young Bucks style, as it were, was that when they were in TNA, they were way too fast. Now, that's somewhat of a compliment, but the pacing sometimes, it's just like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I do think that they need to slow it down a little bit. That's why I like the Dustin Cody Rhodes fight, because it was generally a good match, because it was slow, it was paced. Some of the tag teams are just flipping and flopping, and you're like, what is going on? I do think that they need to slow it down, because also it can risk injury, and I don't, like, if someone actually gets injured on this roster, it's a big deal, like, because they have a small roster, like, so if someone gets injured, like one of the Young Bucks, then, you know, there goes the fucking card. You know, I'm not saying that there goes the card, but I'm just saying that there's an element of danger when you're doing these kind of, like, stunts and stuff. Like, I mean, there is a few things that I enjoy, like the table spots, etc., but, like, some of them were flipping when they didn't need to. There was one guy that I seen against the Young Bucks. It was one of the Lucha Bros, and he was standing like that, and he just went do-do-do-do, and then like, just walk over and tag him. You don't need to flip every time. Like, it was a little bit like, what is actually going on? Again, it's a very small criticism. It's their style of things. I need to probably watch more of it to understand more. But I do think that the flipping and flopping is a little bit like slow it down, boys. But anyway, the WWE bashing, like, I get it. There wasn't as much as what I thought. They did the attendance thing, which was funny. That was tongue-in-cheek. Where I kind of cringed a little bit was the Triple H joke. So, like, Cody Rhodes is with his wife, and then she grabs a sledgehammer, and then he grabs the sledgehammer, and it's this throne that's shaped into Triple H's, like, you know, logo, whatever, like, it's got skulls and stuff, and then he hits it with a sledgehammer. He's like, yeah, like, that was cringy. Stop that, please. Like, don't do that, please. I don't want AEW just to, like, constantly bash WWE, because TNA did that and it didn't work out for them. Just do your own thing, focus on it. I understand it's a tongue-in-cheek joke, like, at the start, but, like, that throne thing, I did cringe at. It was very, very cringy, in my opinion. So, that was something I was just like, alright, okay. As I said, it was just about that there. Yeah, there needs to be more different stars. A lot of these guys have, like, short haircuts and look like models. I couldn't really tell the difference between some of them. It's that indie problem where it's like everyone kind of looks the same. they've kind of improved a little bit. There are stars that do stand out, but for the most part, there's people in there that just look the same. Like, they just look way too similar. And I really hope that they add in a more variety of stars. But I'm sure in the next coming months, they'll add in more stars. But I don't want to see the same old, like, 5'9" model body, short haircut style. Like, I want to see, like, with the trunks and stuff, it's just a little bit boring. I want to see something a little bit different. The 5 count rule confused the fuck out of me. The countouts confused me because the guy on commentary said, "Oh, there's a 5 count rule," and then it went to 5 counts. It goes, "But the referee can offer grace," and I was just confused. I'm like, "Is a match over?" Like, I was very confused. Just do away with the 5 count. Like, I understand if it's like a thing, but don't do that, please. I don't like, that was really weird. On demand, they need to add more on demand. I wanted to rewatch AEW the next morning, and I had to wait till 4 o'clock in the day to then get to the point to watch it again. They need to go beyond some of these, like, third-party sites. I'm sure they're going to be getting money for it and stuff, but maybe try and go to an actual platform where I can rewind it and can watch it on demand. It was very hard to even get the show on Xbox One, because I have a TV screen. I don't watch TV, you see. So I had to download, like, the TV iPlayer. Then I had to purchase it on ITV Box Office. Then I had to, like, find out where to go, like, how do I set it up on my Xbox. It was very confusing, to be honest. It wasn't, like, overly confusing. It was just a bit of a hindrance. And it took, like, an hour of my day to try and find out what in regards to that. But I do think that they might have to get maybe one of these shows on demand so that I can rewind it and forward it and rewind it and forward it. So, there we go. Let's see. Yeah, replay matches. The other bad thing was that there was way too many falls, unfortunately. Like, some of them were getting fucking ridiculous with the falls. So, like, they were going for a pin and it's like, ah! I'm like, really? Is that gonna, like, it's not gonna end the match, like, and they're like, ah! Like, there was way too many falls in this. The Battle Royale I didn't like. I actually don't know who this, like, Hangman guy is. So everyone was, like, marking out, and it's like, who is he? So I was very lost. So if you're someone that, like, doesn't watch any of this indie stuff, you're gonna be very, very lost. At times, but they've kind of simpled it down. I heard a little bit about this Hangman Page guy, but I was very confused when he won. I was like, okay, you know, like, maybe, I think they should have just put Dean Ambrose in there. But anyway, it is what it is. I didn't particularly care much about the Battle Royal, to be honest. Yeah, we got a funny one for you. Fans doing this, like, over nothing. Like, they would, like, hit, like, Chris Jericho would hit Kenny Omega on the mat, and a fan would go. And they had, like, close-ups of him. That was just ridiculous. Y2J's finisher is fucking awful. The Kenny Omega Chris Jericho match, which I'll get into, the finish was not great, but it made up for that for Dean Ambrose. So, but honestly, Chris Jericho's finisher is a spinning elbow. It's like that. Okay. It wasn't really all that good. On a side note, before I get into it as well, two things. I understand that this was like $50. I think lower that, please, for USA people. That's a ridiculous amount to ask. 50 fucking bucks is ridiculous. Like, lower it down a little bit at least. Also, on a side note, I understand that some people might be financially unable to buy this. If you're in the UK and you used another link to watch this, like, but then you claim that you're a #1 fan of AEW, like, are you fucking serious? Like, it was only 15 quid. Like, that was it. Like, if you're in the UK, you have no excuse, really. To be honest, if you're a wrestling fan, I just think that, like, you're saying that AEW is gonna take over WWE, but then, you know, legally stream it. I'm just saying, like, I've noticed, and I've always wanted to talk about this, but some of these indie fans just illegally stream everything, saying that they're major fans, when you're not actually providing money to the actual company. If you care so much about this company, maybe actually pay them money. For USA fans, I can kind of understand. It's 50 fucking bucks. But at the same time, if you're a diehard fan and you're like, oh, number one, fucking AEW the best, then fucking pay for it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying, like, I never heard of any of these people, and even I fucking paid for it, so there's no excuse. But at the same time, I kind of understand with USA, it is a bit dear. Do I think it's worth 50 bucks? I don't know. But what I do know is 50 bucks is way too fucking much. I think please lower that. Maybe to 40 or 30, at least. But 50 bucks for this, I think is a lot. But if you're one of these diehard fans that just illegally streamed it, don't turn around saying that you're a fucking amazing fan. You didn't pay them shit. I actually paid them fucking money. So, and that goes for these, like, people that just praise everything that the indies do. And I've seen a lot of them. And I've seen, like, people that just, all I do is praise the indies, and then they don't pay for the fucking show. So anyway, that's the end of the bad. Let's get into the main card. Also, one more thing. CM Punk wasn't on the show. Yeah. Some people love clickbait. But anyway, let's get into the card. The Casino Battle Royale, I thought, I mean, it had its moments, but overall, I was like, it's better than any Battle Royale I've seen in WWE, I'll give it that. But I think the Joker card is, and it's some guy called Hangman Page, and I'm like, who's he? I think that they could have had Dean Ambrose in that, but at the same time, it's a pre-show, so I'm like, it's just, it was a wee bit weird. Like, there was a guy called Luchasaurus, who's a Lucha Dinosaur guy. I was very confused, because these people were, like, marking out for people that were coming out, and I don't know who they are. I'm like, what is going on? So, for that, it was a little bit, you know, it was, but at the end of the day, I just honestly thought, yeah, I just thought it was, I didn't think it was all that good, to be honest. But it was better than most, to be honest. Kip Sabian versus Sammy Gargano. It was alright, but it's a pre-show. I mean, I understand some, like, it's a guy with, like, a panda thing. I don't get it. And the two of them look exactly the same. They got those kind of model faces and the side haircut, like the long the side thing, and I was weird. It was alright match. It was okay. SCU versus the Strong Hearts was actually pretty good. This was actually a very good match. Love seeing I love seeing let's see, the SCU guys. Christopher Daniels and Frankie Kazarian, I'm actually big fans of. I liked them in TNA back when I actually watched it. And they did an excellent job. I like their gimmick, like the whole tag team funny gimmick thing. It's very, very good. Honestly, excellent match. And it was definitely a good thing to be the main card, the start of the match on the main card, which I thought was a great decision. Honestly, it was amazing. Kylie Red, Nyla Rose, Britt Baker versus Awesome Kong. I legit marked out for Awesome Kong. Unfortunately, Awesome Kong didn't win, but this match itself was pretty decent. It wasn't amazing. They're gonna have to work in the women's division for this, but I'm glad that it's, like, not the main focus compared to WWE, where they just put everything, like, women in the main event all the time now. So it's good to see that they were in the second match, which I thought was good. But overall, generally speaking, I didn't know any of these women. I knew Awesome Kong. I was rooting for Awesome Kong. Awesome Kong didn't win. So yeah. Britt Baker ended up winning. She's apparently a dentist or something. I was very confused. But overall, it was an actual decent match. It was actually quite good for the women's match. Best Friends versus Jack Evans, and I can't pronounce that guy's name, I'm sorry. There's a lot of that, by the way, where I don't know some of these people, so I do apologize. This tag team match was actually pretty good. It wasn't amazing, like, it wasn't as good as the Young Bucks match, but it is what it is. Yeah, the chance of "Who are you?" filled the arena, because I didn't know who they were, to be honest. But at the same time, though, I think that they did a decent match for people that don't usually know. Right, I'm not even going to pronounce it, but the Japanese 3-on-3 women's match, I thought it was fucking shit. I thought this was not good. I just didn't know who but maybe it's a bit too hard. The match itself, like, some of the spots were quite decent. I just didn't know who any of these women were. I didn't know who they were. I was just confused. And I was just like, what the fuck? What is this? And then they're like, this isn't like a proper tag match. These women aren't in tag teams. I'm like, could you not have said that at the start rather than say it in the middle of the match? Overall, it wasn't the best. It wasn't the best match in the world. Cody Rhodes versus Dustin Rhodes. Fucking match of the night, in my opinion. The best match ever in this card. Very, very good. There was a lot of violence, a lot of blood. It told a great story, great storytelling, actually. That was one of my criticisms before, is this AEW thing going to ignore storylines? They didn't. They actually told a story in the ring, and it was actually a very good fucking match. Definitely worth watching. I mean that when I say that. It's actually fucking good. Okay. The AEW Championship presentation. Bret Hart was there. I was surprised. So, let's see. MJF, you call him. This guy is goddamn talented. This guy is a talented heel. Definitely very, very talented. I want to see more of this guy as a heel. He's like the Miz. But no, that's even... I think he generally generates a lot of good heat. And I think he's like a better version of EC3. He's what EC3 should be. Not the whole, I'm EC3, but I'm amazing, guys. Like, I'm amazing. Like, this guy doesn't care. Like, he's a proper heel. He generally wants to generate heat. Absolutely excellent. Absolutely amazing. Also stole my fucking Seabiscuit joke, the twat. But, yeah, overall very, very good. Championship looks absolutely excellent. Overall very, very good. Hart's relationship with the CEO Vince McMahon was rebuilt a decade ago, but it suddenly seems like, the Hart's relationship with WWE and other legacy stars willing to appear in AEW remains to be seen. But his arrival was met with many oh my gods. Yeah, it was a very, very good presentation. AAA World Tag Team Championships, the Lucha Bros, which it's a bit of a weird name, but the Young Bucks as well. Very good match. My only criticism is the pacing was a little bit too fast. Like, I was just like, what's going on? Like, but this was actually a good match. The Young Bucks have actually improved a lot. Since I've done the Rant series on them, they've actually vastly improved. They're not just the super kick people. Like there is super kicks there, but there's not as much as what there used to be. And I'm kind of glad that they've decided not to overly do the super kick thing. But overall, this was actually a very good match. It goes to show you that there's going to be a strong tag team appearance in this whole in this company, and I thought it was actually a decent match. But again, just a little bit too too flippy floppy for me. But overall, was still a good match. Kenny Omega versus Chris Jericho. Is it better than most of WWE stuff? Yes. Was the match 5 stars? Absolutely not. The match was not 5 stars. It did kind of cut short a little bit. The ending with the Chris Jericho elbow has brought the match a little bit down. there is, like, Kenny's, like, there's blood on his nose and stuff like that. I do think that this is way above average to most wrestling standards. I was just maybe expecting more. My only main criticism is Chris Jericho, please don't use that finisher. I think it's awful. The Code Breaker is amazing. The Walls of Jericho is amazing. Your arc, Walls of Jericho, where you use the one leg, is amazing. But this whole Judas effect thing is just... I'm not a fan. Like, a clothesline, yeah, but the whole, like, spinning elbow thing is just like, yeah, it's alright. And this is kind of one of the very first matches that I've seen of Kenny Omega. I've heard a lot about him. I do think that he's a talented wrestler. Obviously, Chris Jericho is. I was maybe just expecting more from this match. But overall, it was above average than what you normally see on wrestling shows. So, overall, very good. And obviously, finally, Dean Ambrose coming back. Very smart decision by AEW for bringing him in there. And, yeah, I think it's very, very good. And, yeah, that's us. So, guys, I know it's a bit of a long review, but I wanted to put as much effort into this pay-per-view review as possible. Going forward, we will be now officially reviewing AEW shows officially on the General Jerry channel. So, there you go. We're officially reviewing the shows on here. I'm going to be taking a break from the whole, like, it's gotten me back into maybe wrestling, which already is. What do I give this out of 10? I'm giving this an 8 out of 10. It would have gone down to a 7 if there was any more kind of shenanigans with the whole kind of, like, the main problem I had was, like, the flippy floppy thing and the, you know, the commentary, like, pre-show people, like, kind of brought it down a little bit. But overall, this was way above average. This was excellent. Perfect 10 is very hard to get. Like, I think people do 10 out of 10 way too easily. But, like, the way I do it is, like 1 is, like, where it's barely a show. 5 is average. 6 is above average. 7 is way above average. 8 is even amazing. 9 is just legendary. And 10 is just, it's, like, it's very rare I make a show 10 out of 10. It's very rare. I don't think I've actually given a show 10 out of 10. So, but this is above average. Very good show. Absolutely excellent. Guys, let me know what you think in the comments below. It's General Jerry on the General Jerry channel. Signing out.